Hello, my crafty peeps. Welcome to What the Craft. If you don't already know me, I'm Marie, an American expat living in Portugal, and these are my quick weekly updates. This week, I cut out my first sewing pattern using a projector. I have to say, it wasn't easy. I know there's a learning curve, but I wanted to report back on my first experience. I had originally wanted to wait until I could set up a projector in a more permanent space. However, because I was recovering from surgery, I used that as an excuse to splurge on a projector so that I could watch Netflix while I was recovering in bed. The projector that I chose was this Magic Cube one. It was about 80 euros on the evil Amazon. It is model number HY310. It connects wirelessly to my laptop, which is great. And when watching Netflix, the picture was pretty clear. And what's also great is it can connect to a tripod on the bottom. Things that I found difficult. So I set this up temporarily on my stairs to project onto my dining room table because I'm not really fit enough right now to cut on the floor. People say that the optimal distance from the projector to the surface is about 51 inches. And I had it set up around like 70. So the lines weren't as clear as they could have been. The garment that I chose was a jolly pattern that one came as a projector file. And then two, I knew that I wasn't going to have to do any pattern alterations for it because it is a lycra built-in bra with a loose knit t-shirt on the outside. I projected it and then just cut it with a rotary cutter. I think the things that I found difficult was just you have to do this dance so that you're not like in the way of the light, but you want to be able to see your blade. You have to cut with a rotary cutter because if you use scissors, it lifts the fabric up and then it distorts the image. And I will say cutting in the dark with a rotary blade is can be a little scary. So I'm not 100% sure that I cut it out correctly. I will report back when I finish sewing the garment. There were a couple pieces that looked a little small, but who knows? Oh, people talked about how hard it was to calibrate it to your cutting mat. And I found that was kind of the easier process. My problem is I kept bumping into the table and I had to keep recalibrating it. I think if I were to be able to set it up more permanently, I would get a bigger cutting board because that's definitely helpful. The one I have is 24 inches by 18 inches. Going forward, for me, if I have to temporarily set it up, what I would do is I would set it up and then I would use tracing paper to trace the pattern onto paper because I think that would be easier. And especially since I do pattern adjustments normally. And then that way I could mark the notches that because that I found was also hard marking notches on the fabric as I was cutting it out. That sounds like it's not saving me as many steps as it should, but it still saves me some money because I have been getting my patterns printed on A0 paper. And every time I do that, it's 5 euros a sheet. And then from the A0 paper, I then trace it onto paper, like tracing paper. So I'm maybe not saving a step, but I am saving paper and saving some money. The last pattern I had to print out on A0, it was 4 pages. And so that cost me 20 euros. I'm excited to try it again, but I would, like I said, I would probably batch trace a bunch of patterns. Also on the paper, traced patterns. I like to take notes as to like things that I would do differently the next time, like lower the waist or raise the neckline, etc. This week, I did cut out Rob's toile for his hoodie. I am using two different colors of t-shirt fabric because the sweatshirt fabric that I bought, plus the zippers, plus all the other things, came out to be about 90 euros. So I thought it would be best to do a toile of that first. I haven't started sewing it because I gotta change my serger threads, which is always a dreaded task for me. The other things that I did this week, I did do some dyeing of fabric for winter of care and repair. I this fabric from a friend of mine while I was in recovery, and it was white and black. And I try not to wear white because I'm a slob when I eat. So I dyed this using passion pink on machine pods. It's about 3 meters. I think I will make a jumpsuit out of it. If you have suggestions for jumpsuit patterns for this fabulous fabric, please put them in the comments below. This is the fabric I showed a few weeks ago using the same color dye pod. So it's kind of interesting. This one is a linen blend. This one is probably a viscose. Wearing a shirt that I dyed for Winter of Care and Repair a few years ago, probably about 3 years ago. And I think this one's deep violet. It came out great. It has washed well. It's at least 3 years ago that I dyed it. And I originally dyed it because it was gray. And I wear gray a lot, but the gray that this was originally kind of washed me out. So I highly recommend using Dylon machine dye pods if there's a garment that just doesn't look like the right color for you. It holds up well. It's easy to do in the washing machine, and they're just great. Okay, I think that's all I got for you this week. Thanks for watching. Put in the comments below what you're working on, and in the meantime, craft on.